welcome back to another episode of the Who Asked Me podcast. I am so happy you're here. Happy Halloween to all of those who celebrate. It's so funny when I tell people that I did not go trick-or-treating growing up, they assume that it's for like religious reasons or because, my mom didn't want to XYZ. No, it was literally because my mom was paranoid and we lived overseas growing up. And she would hear the stories back in the States about like the razor blades and the candy and stuff like that. And so when we moved back to the States, it was like, no. I will say I was always allowed to participate. So I could go to Halloween parties, my parties at school. I got a costume. We brought whatever candy. I just could not go ask for candy from strangers' houses. And I did actually go trick-or-treating once before. I didn't care either. But I did go trick-or-treating because I got invited to like a Halloween sleepover where trick-or-treating was a part of it. My mom was like, yeah, you can go. And halfway through, I was like, I'm over this. I don't care. People always ask me, will you let your kids trick-or-treat? Yeah, probably like a trunk or treat or something. We'll see where the times are once I have kids, because I feel like now a lot of it is trunk or treat, parties, things like that. Halloween has really evolved. And it's funny, Megan and I were talking about whether or not we think it's like sad or whether or not how we feel about it, but it's different than how it was when we were kids. But we are not here to talk about Halloween. Halloween is cool. I actually, after I get done recording this, we are going out. Well, should I say we're going out? Megan has to DJ, of course, and we are dressing up. This is the first year that I am dressing up with a couple. Like I've just realized I've never ever done a couple's costume ever. So interesting, but I'm excited. So let's dive into these topics really quickly because I am on a time crunch. First things first, with it being Halloween, 2 costumes I want to talk about. The first one is a bad one, right? We have this talk every year when it comes to Halloween, and generally it is people being racially insensitive. However, this year, Julia Fox, is that girl's name Julia Fox, the one that dated Kanye after Kim did? Yeah. From Hidden Gems. I'm the Muse. Whatever that girl is. She dressed up as Jackie Kennedy. Not just Jackie Kennedy or Jackie O. Jackie O in the like blood-stained outfit from after JFK got shot. Like, girl, what? What? Talk about an idiot. Okay, and I'm not surprised because Julia Fox is always doing things. Semi-recently, she was in a movie, him with Tyreek Withers and Marlon Wayans, and she kept interrupting Marlon Wayans when he was speaking, and during an interview, and a lot of people are like, ooh, who cares? A little misandry, like, who cares when men speak, blah, blah. Well, the thing about it is, let's be real, that's like rude. But also, from what I understand, Marlon Wayans was speaking about having a trans son. I believe he has a trans son. And his experience, right? And being open. And I do believe that those conversations need to be had, especially within the Black community. So it was just ignorant of her to be interrupting, and it was ignorant of her to wear that costume. That's nothing to be made fun of. Yikes on spikes. So Julia Fox fails once again. She probably won't even realize it, and some people will call her iconic. Now, let's get into a Halloween costume that I gagged. I scrumped a scream when it was sent to me by my best friend earlier, and that is Miss Kayla Nicole as Toni Braxton in the He Wasn't Man Enough for Me video. Oh, and if you listen to me, you know I know the lore. You know I talk about the lore. So if you don't know, which don't know how you can't, and Kayla Nicole is Travis Kelce's ex. And when I say ex, there was no crossover between her and Taylor Swift. That's why it makes no sense for Taylor to have been singing and throwing subtle shots at Kayla on her new album. They did not date that man anywhere near each other. Kayla was not bothering her. She should not have brought it up. And the fact that her fans have spent the last however long they've been together in Kayla's comment section terrorizing her and she said nothing. Yeah, no, it was a 10 out of 10. And listen, one thing to know about me is He Wasn't Man Enough for Me by Toni Braxton is I love that song. I've always loved that song. When I remember being a little girl and seeing that video, I've told this story plenty of times before, but you remember Slinkies, those toys back in the day? I was obsessed with them. I had so many Slinkies. I had you had the chain ones and you had the colorful ones. And in the video, she's wearing this chain, very slinky-ish dress, and she does this dance. I would put the Slinkies all on my arms and wrap them around my body. I got so many twisted up. My mom was like, I'm not buying you another Slinky because you keep doing this. And I would pretend to do the dance in the living room. And then when I grew up, and I had a divorce of my own, and I had people in my life trying to tell me about my divorce and my past relationship, I was like, oh, this song hits. This song has been a hit for decades now. Decades. And it really gets the point across. Listen, I'm so sorry. There's nothing more embarrassing than a current girlfriend worrying about an ex-girlfriend. I don't care what anybody says. That is between you and your boo. Y'all need to work that out. That ain't got nothing to do with exes, okay? So if you are an ex worried about, or if you are a current worried about an ex who isn't bothering you all, let's be clear. I'm not talking about people whose exes are still texting them and stuff like that. If you are a current worried about an ex that doesn't care and is not nowhere near, yeah, you might want to get over that. And you know what I think makes it worse for me? Y'all know I like that show, Special Forces. Kayla was actually on Special Forces last season, so season 2. And she said, I really do believe Kayla has carried herself very, very gracefully. She has given a lot of people grace. She really has in this situation. And she even said when she was on Special Forces last year, she said, me and Travis have been done. She was like, I like her. Talking about Taylor, I think. And she said, I think she's smart. And with that, Taylor Swift is a smart woman. Okay, she is a smart woman. She's a smart businesswoman. She knows exactly what she's doing. And I find it so interesting that her fans, they want to attack anybody for having differing feelings. I think is it Maddie Healy? It had to have been Maddie Healy's mom, or maybe it was Joe. One of her British ex's moms was on Watch What Happens Live for whatever reason, because I think she's an actress or something. And she was asked about Taylor Swift, and she said, I'm very happy that she is marrying into that family and not into mine. And you know what? While we all know I have my own feelings about mother-in-laws, boy moms, all those things, she has a right to feel that way, right? She has a right to feel that way. If my ex-mother-in-law was like, I'm very happy Giselle is out of my family, she has a right to feel that way. We had a lot of arguments, okay? So that's fine. But the way those fans came at that woman, I'm like, this is what she means. This is why she's happy that she's not in your family. And what kills me about fandoms, and I'll kind of get into this when it comes to Real Housewives as well, is just because you would die and you would love for any ounce of attention from your fave does not mean that the people in their life and the people connected to the people in their life would. They don't want that. It's not something that they desire. So I always think that's funny. Keep in mind, Kayla Nicole won Halloween for me on that, because that is at the top of a Scorpio clapback. Oh my God, that is a Scorpio clapback if I've ever seen one in my life. I love the little shade, and listen, I am an Aries. We all know this isn't new information here. I love when people can sit back in the cut, wait on it, and have delayed gratification or delayed shade, because I am impulsive. You do not come for me. I want to be more like that. I really, really, really do. So kudos to her. Let's talk about Dancing with the Stars a little bit, okay? Because the girls, oh my God. First of all, we are handing out 10s too liberally. We are handing out 10s too liberally this year on Dancing with the Stars. I don't like it. I'm going to tell y'all right now, I don't like it. There have been a couple times that, I'm just going to say it, Whitney from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives has gotten 10s, and I am confusion. Now, I know a lot of people were hating on Whitney on Dancing with the Stars because she's not a favorite on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And I will say this, I don't care for Whitney, right? However, I will be the first person to say that I think that Whitney is very, very in her element and very good on Dancing with the Stars. However, Whitney is a theater girly and she has like that in her background. As somebody who loves Dancing with the Stars, I always think it's very impressive when the people who are not trained in any way, shape, or form do very good at Dancing with the Stars, right? So like as much as I loved Ariana, or I do love Ariana, and I liked watching her on Dancing with the Stars, it was more impressive for me when Ariana's theater trained, when someone who is not trained in any way, shape, or form to like dance or entertain or anything like that, when they do good as well. Alex Earl is not a dancer. She is not a dancer. Mama is kicking and flipping and she is doing her things. She's doing her things. Jordan, is her name Jordan Childs, the gymnast? Now, she's a gymnast, okay? So I'm a little torn on this one. But I do feel like they're slighting her. I feel like they are slighting Jordan, and I don't know why, because I think she's doing so good. Same thing, Elaine is doing really well. I don't think that Whitney is doing bad, but I just think that it's impressive for people who are not trained in any way, shape, or form to be doing well, and I think that's what should be paid attention to as well. Also, I want to say with Whitney, with this last dance from this week, the Halloween one, she was off. Whitney was off. Like, she was a couple beats off. I remember watching it and I was like, is it me? I said, is it me? Did I tune out? Like, why? But no. So I got on Threads and people were like, Whitney is like 10 steps off, and they still gave her, I think she got some 10s this week. So again, I see people arguing online and they're like, oh, people are just hating on Whitney, yada, yada. It's like, they're not hating. And also, I would like to see Dylan Efron's doing really well. I would like to see him win. I really want to see Robert Irwin win. That's who I want to see win, if I'm being honest. Jen from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives did get eliminated this week. And listen, I felt like people were being very hard on Jen and Jan because this is Jan's first year with Dancing with the Stars. This is his first year being a pro. I can absolutely tell that Jan is a great dancer. Jan obviously made it through the auditions. They didn't just give him the job out of nowhere, right? But maybe some first year nerves. I think for his first year, he did great. The choreography, and he's going to learn as he goes. First of all, Max, shut your fucking mouth. He's such a fucking asshole. He is such a dickhead. And of course, he critiques Jan and says that he shouldn't be on Dancing with the Stars and he's not skilled enough, yada, yada, doody. And then he has to get up and give an apology. And like, it was just gross. It was just gross. You can critique. He can absolutely critique. He's well within his right to, but he was an asshole about it, right? People are saying that maybe there's a little bit of an issue with Whitney and Jen because of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I wouldn't be shocked if there was. I do think that Whitney is, listen, I will say this. Whitney and, what's that guy's, her partner's name? Mark. Whitney and Mark Vallis doing that little like, oh, we'd love to do a giveaway for tickets, all expenses paid for two fans to come to the Halloween taping. Of course you all can't do that. I remember when I saw them do that, I was like, I feel like this is against the rules. What do you know? ABC and Disney were like, hey, you can't do that. It's against the rules. Because this is a show with voting. Hello. And we are in the United States of America. We do not need any more elections questioned. Okay, let's just say that. You know, side note, with this hair, I got my hair done. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see me. A little bit of it, of course I love it, but a little bit, I'm giving Kamala when I move my head a little bit. It's giving Big Sister General. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I also want to say there was a lot of critiques of Jen, Jan's partner from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Jen was, I don't know if she's 6 weeks postpartum, but she was very, very, like a couple weeks or months postpartum. She looked amazing. She moved amazing. I have had my critiques of Jen. This has nothing to do with that devilish husband of hers. anything like that. I love mothers, and I think that she did amazing. The female body is amazing. Even though she did not win, I'm proud of Jen for that, because it's awesome. It really, really is. I will give credit where credit is due. I could see Whitney being a very annoying person to lose to, though. But I will give him the 10s. I hope Jan comes back next season and he just gets better and better, because people, especially in today's society, act like you have to be good from the start. Paige Beckers, my girl, says this quote that people always talk about the world tour, but they don't talk about the work tour. We need to talk about the work tour more, right? Speaking of the WNBA girlies, really quickly, this was not on the topic list. The streets are saying Nalissa Smith and Dejanay Carrington broke up. Now, if you're familiar with them, this ain't the first time. This ain't the first time. And I think they might get back together because they love each other bad, right? But damn, what is going on? Nalissa just won with the Aces also. She better not be acting brand new. I know that much. I'm just kidding. I'm going to stay out their business. I'm going to watch from afar. Oh, we don't have time to get into this today, but like the Woola Woo, the Women Love Women TikTok streets, it's a mess right now. It really, really is. We cannot even get into K1 and Kaylani. That is a mouthful. I just realized I never fully said their names out loud. Anyways, moving on to the Housewives. I want to talk about Lisa Barlow. We have had seven episodes now of this season of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And I want to say this. A lot of people, Lisa fans, are like, oh, it's a Lisa pile-on. Da, 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 da. I do not believe it's a Lisa pile-on, because Lisa does not do anything for herself. Okay? Lisa acts like the guiltiest innocent person if she is innocent. She really, really does. And I do believe the two snipers from the side that I think Heather is the sneakiest one of all. I'm never coming up off of that. I think Heather is the sneakiest one of all because of the Monica Garcia of it all. We breezed way past the fact that Heather's hairstylist was running the account with Monica, and that Heather knew about the account and that Monica was involved in the account before she let on, and the black eye. So Heather will always get my like sneaky card in Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. However, Lisa Barlow is not innocent. And I find it very interesting. This is going to tie into when we start talking about Potomac here in a second. Something weird is happening with Housewife viewers, I feel, as of late, where people are watching the episode and then completely forgetting context, right? So everyone's talking about Angel and Wendy, and they're like, oh, Wendy was being mean to Angel. And it's like, did you guys not watch this whole season so far? Angel ain't fond of Wendy, right? But we'll get there. People are acting as if we are taking this season and this season only from Lisa Barlow's actions, and that's not true. And one thing about me and Lisa Barlow is I really do feel like, in a way, she is the new Jen Shah when it comes to holding back storylines. What I mean by that is the yelling. First of all, the yelling is a lot. Okay, it's a lot. But also, Lisa is incapable of moving forward with people. Take Bronwyn, for example, this episode, right? Last time we saw Bronwyn and Lisa, they sat down with each other at whatever event or club space that Lisa was working at, and they decided they were going to move forward with each other. And according to both of them, they have not seen each other. Somebody who I am working, and I want to be clear also, this was the same playbook Lisa used when it came to Meredith as well. It was exhausting to me for the whole Meredith and Lisa saga, because they would try to move on, and Lisa kept acting like, one, she was the victim there, right? And they would try to move forward, and she would just start going back again, because she's like, well, you came for me first. You came for me first. One, not true. All right. That was not true. But also, you cannot sit there and act like just because someone came for you first doesn't mean that you have carte blanche to say anything about them from here on out, especially if you have had conversations with them saying that you were going to move forward. Lisa sucks at moving forward, right? It's always there. It's always waiting in the cut, waiting in the cut. She completely goes in on Bronwyn. Mind you, Bronwyn's charges or whatever the fuck this is, it doesn't have anything to do with Lisa. It really doesn't. She was smiling ear to ear, couldn't wait to say like, oh, you have charges yourself and you couldn't wait to dig into mine. Again, I don't think any of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City are innocent when it comes to talking to bloggers. I really don't. They all do it. Lisa is just super, super messy about it. And it does not help that Lisa is so plugged in online. When she was on Watch What Happens Live this past week, she could tell you the conversation that was happening on Twitter. She said, look on Twitter right now. Somebody is exposing Angie for, like, somebody posted screenshots of Angie talking to a blogger. And I believe it, right? Don't get me, I'm not sitting here saying that's not Angie. I believe it. The reason Angie and Lisa are triggering each other so bad, the reason Angie is so triggered by Lisa is because Angie actually knows what Lisa has done. Unlike the rest of us who are guessing and leaving it up to whether we really like Lisa or not, Angie knows. And that's what kills me also. All of these women who actually know Lisa, and they definitely know more than we do, are saying without a doubt, Mary, without a doubt, Angie, without a doubt, Whitney, without a doubt. They are saying Lisa does this. Like, you guys don't know. We know, right? Is Whitney messy? Yes. But Whitney is messy to people's faces. Like, Whitney is not afraid. And y'all know, if you've listened to me for a long time, you know I just kind of came around to Healing Journey. Just kind of, because I hate when I could see her working. I hate when I could see her pulling it out and doing it. I will say I was with Whitney last year when she got upset with Lisa about not checking on her after her friend had passed away, because like she's just self-centered. She's just self-fucking centered, right? But Whitney will bring it up right there in front of the group for everybody to fight about and to like cause chaos. She will, when everyone's like, Whitney's the one that brought it to camera. Yes, because we all saw it. We all saw it. And again, none of this is really, Lisa Barlow wants to sit there and be like, I have no criminal charges against me. I don't think Bronwyn does either. It's all still very unclear. Very, very unclear what the fuck happened, okay? I've seen so many internet lawyers pretend to be lawyers say that they know what it was and what it wasn't. I don't fucking know, and I don't care. It's way before she ever came on this show. Way before. And quite frankly, I saw somebody pay the money to look into Lisa's stuff, and I reshared it on TikTok. If you want to go look into my TikTok repost, her name is Paris. I will tell you that, but I can't, I repost a lot, child. Okay, but it's in there. This lawsuit, all these things with Lisa, they actually started back in like 2011, 2012, the borrowing of the money. And the dates that were lining up of when they started asking for their money back do start to make sense when you remember that she was on the phone calling seven lawyers allegedly, when Jen got arrested. Now, again, not criminal, right? But I would not be shocked if Lisa was so spooked when that happened. She was like, what is this? And I can't be embarrassed like this. It's funny. And I've said on this podcast before, what Lisa is being accused of is simply not paying her loans back. We're not talking about not paying the loans back to a bank. We're talking not paying them back to a business or former business partner. And at worst, it's going to make somebody not want to go into business with her. It's not actually going to ruin her reputation. Her need to be perfect and to be seen as perfect, it's crazy to me because she is a human. She is a human. No one is perfect. But it also is very ironic to me all the time. Whenever Lisa says something, how do I want to say this? Either Lisa will say something and then certain Bravo accounts will pick it up and start running with it, or vice versa. So I saw a very popular Bravo account say this. And ironically, on the after show, I saw Lisa say almost the exact same thing, which is that internet sleuths, Reddit sleuths found the information on Bronwyn and that they people saw it on there and then ran to Instagram and put it into people's inboxes. And they know that because they're a small podcast, which they are not. People who said this are not a small podcast. I'm sorry. And they know that because they're little fish and they're no ones, and people drop stuff into their inboxes all the time. I'm sorry. I would argue that people drop stuff into your inboxes because you are on the law side of things. And I'm really not saying this to be shady, but I would argue that that's why people probably drop things in inboxes. And people do drop stuff. People will put stuff in my inbox all the time. Do I read it? No. It depends, right? And then I go on about my day. But then I look on the after show, I see a clip of the after show, and I see, what is Lisa Barlow saying? People on the internet found it. They looked in the database, and then they put it in people's inboxes. It's ironic to me. I'm sorry. I find it fishy when I see Bravo accounts start spinning narratives, okay, and we're putting their narratives out there. And then I see Lisa Barlow on the after show saying almost the exact same thing. Now, is this theory so far out there that it like can only come from these people? No, it's not, right? I don't think so. But I also find it very weird that somebody would just wake up one day, go to, I think it was Bronwyn was in California, San Francisco, San Diego, one of those, or Sacramento, I don't know. She was in California. Go to whatever city in California database and search her name. I find that weird. If it was in Utah, right? If it was in Utah, then fine. But tracing this stuff back all the way to 10, 15 plus years ago, all the way into the whatever city in California circuit court system. No, and you want me to believe that no housewife, no one connected to Bronwyn whatsoever, just let that there? I'm sorry. I have a hard time with it. I really do. I do. I don't really know what it is about Lisa Barlow that makes people want to defend her so hard and think that others deserve just as much. And again, we all have our faves. We really do. I just think for me, the women get into it with Lisa and it ends up going into a circle. All of the rest of them can move forward with one another and get through things. She is the only one. She is the common denominator to me. She can't, like, things just keep going in circles no matter who she's arguing with. So that's my point there. I'm still having a great time watching the show. It's gonna be interesting to see the reunion with Lisa and what the producers and Andy come with in showing her the receipts of herself and how she acts. But John Barlow even told us she never thinks she's wrong. She never thinks that she is wrong. So I can only imagine. But we're going to move on for the sake of time. In the same breath of people having pretend amnesia when it comes to these shows, I'm so confused at the tide turn. Okay, let me stop myself because I'm a smart girl. I'm not confused at the tide turning on Wendy. I think that Wendy had a good first couple of episodes, right? But we know this on the other side, that Wendy has gotten arrested and there is an impending trial, charges, all of those things. To me, that still has nothing to do with what's going on with what I'm watching, okay? Because Wendy has these fraud charges and everything, that doesn't have anything to do with how Angel is dead set on having an issue with her. So, I find it weird that people are like, Giselle is so mean. Giselle is this, Giselle is that. Giselle has been mean. Giselle has been mean. Ashley has been that way. Giselle has been that way. Now, do I think that Wendy could have stood up for Angel more, or maybe even Stacy? I'm going to be honest with you. No, when it comes to either, right? Because when it comes to Stacy, I think that was grand opening, grand closing. Stacy's like, I got this. And her and Wendy are friends and they're kiki and cacaing with one another. And Wendy is checking her. Or not Wendy, I'm sorry. Stacy is checking Giselle, right? And Wendy's right there with her. They're cackling. They were really funny to watch at that dinner. But when it comes to Angel and Wendy, I'm just a little confused because I hear y'all when you're like, oh, Giselle did that to Wendy and she didn't like it. And Wendy even said, listen, these are not new tricks when it comes to Giselle. I'm just happy it's not happening to me now. I'm just confused to why y'all think Wendy should stand up for somebody who just flipped a script on her and tried to come at her like she was the one causing issues, because Angel has not been kind to Wendy. With that whole like Kiarna chin check situation, Angel has not been kind to Wendy whatsoever, and she seems very dead set on misunderstanding Wendy. How Angel got at the table when Giselle called her a catfish. Then she got mad at Wendy for laughing. She threw shade at Wendy in the confessional. Mind you, her friend of 20 years is sitting right next to her. Right next to her. Me and my friends of 20 years, if somebody did that to us, we would have turned Giselle every which way but loose. We would have dragged her to hell. She would never speak around us again. I promise you that. I promise you that, okay? Yes, Giselle's actions are very, very, very immature. But Angel reacting to Giselle calling her a catfish and doing multiple hazing things to her the way she does, but then sitting up in her seat and having more bravado for Wendy is weird to me. Another thing that I found weird is when I went to go follow Tia on Instagram, because I just love her. I love her. There was a reel that was like Meet the New Girl. So it was Tia and Angel, and she being Angel, it was superlative. So they asked who was the most welcoming. Angel actually said that Wendy was the most welcoming at first. And I'm just so confused. And I want to say this. I also saw an interview that Tia did, and she said Angel is very sensitive. And I could see that. This episode, I could see that she is very sensitive, and I understand that she is postpartum, but I also see people saying like, oh, Wendy should understand, if anything, because she was postpartum when she came on the show, and she was on her first trip, so why wasn't she kinder? Again, Angel has not been kind to Wendy. I could see if Angel was trying to get to know everybody equally, which she's not, all right? And I can give Angel the postpartum thing. However, I'm not going to try to be a friend to you if you're new in my group. I'm not going to try to go out of my way, and then you are dead. And once I understand that you are dead set on misunderstanding me, I'm not extending that grace just because we've both had babies and been on this show right after we both had babies. I'm not doing it. Especially not with how Angel's been acting. So, Wendy can do things that are uppity. Wendy can do things that are know-it-all. I don't think she's know-it-all in this situation. I think Angel I do believe that she is very sensitive, and I do believe that she is going through postpartum, and she is in a new environment, and I really am. I will say, I don't want to say cautiously, because I am going to say this with my whole chest, but Angel is acting very loserish, but I am open to changing my perspective and my mind about Angel because I know the circumstances and I can take into context about it. But even her behavior online, I found her, she came across my threads and I didn't even know it was her. She was like, this mean girl energy is so exhausted and not okay, but she was very vague. Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? I hope you're talking about Giselle, and I actually hope you're including your friend Kay in on that, and yourself, because Angel had no problem laughing about Stacey's breath and offering breath mints when it came to everybody saying that Stacey had bad breath. And y'all know how I feel about people leaning on, oh, I'm a girl's girl, and so-and-so's a mean girl, and blah, blah, when it's coming at them, when it's actions that they don't like. But let's look at your own behavior. Do you really think that you are behaving like someone that is such a girl's girl? And so when you are having these points of contention with Wendy, when you are offering Stacey mints and king with Giselle after she just called you a catfish. Speaking of the catfish comment, also what Tia said in her interview that I saw was at the picture that production showed of that Giselle was claiming was not catfish. That actually wasn't the picture that Giselle showed to the group. It was a different picture that was less edited. And I think multiple things are true with the photoshopping and the catfishing, right? I could tell that was Angel, but I can also tell that picture is photoshopped. Just like when Teresa Giudice puts up her photos and Luann, right? I can tell that that's them. Gretchen is another one. I can tell that that's them. I can just tell that that's them, but photoshopped. Okay. I think that the photo that was showed to us is old. I think it's very, very old. Because at this time that we are watching Angel, she's 19 months postpartum. I think the photo that was showed was old. I think it does have a filter on it. It is photoshopped. And Angel, I'm going to give Angel a bone here. Angel didn't send that photo into that blog. They chose it. The blog chose that photo. Tia and Angel, because it was the Jasmine brand, they didn't send those photos in. Yeah, it was chosen for them. That's not really on Angel. If I send you a picture, if you say, hey, give me a picture of you because I'm posting XYZ like a lot of us podcasters do, like, hey, can you send me a photo for promo? And I send you that a very, very, very altered photo, yeah, fine. Then it's like, But if somebody just went deep into my Instagram or on my Instagram in general and chose a picture for themselves, but the photo is photoshopped. It has a filter on it, even if it's just the Paris filter, which it's not, but it is. It does have something. It has tweaks, little tweaks. Love, and that's okay. I don't think that Giselle, Tia said, I just love her. Tia said it wasn't dining conversation. It wasn't suitable for dining, and I agree with that as well. It was not as a conversation that should have been had at all. Really, to me, it shouldn't have been had at all, but it definitely shouldn't have been had at the table in front of everybody. So, and that's where I'm at with that. I do want to touch on 2 points that I have from Real Housewives of OC really quickly. First things first, apparently at the OC reunion, they did the same thing that they did at the Vanderpump Rules reunion, the last one that we saw, where everyone saw the finale, but no one saw the final scene until they were all together. Y'all, Bravo has only ever done that with Vanderpump Rules. I don't think that's where are we at with Vanderpump Rules now? I don't think that's a good sign. This was a dumpster fire of a season. I said 2.3. Jen, loser. Jen is oh my God. Dude, like, I saw the first 10 minutes of the reunion and Katie is like, did Shannon did Shannon not have a conversation with, what is that guy's name? I literally just left my mind. The producer, Alex Baskin. I almost said Steve Baskin. What the fuck did I get that from? I don't know. But she says, didn't Shannon have a conversation with Alex Baskin saying that she didn't like me and she wanted me fired? And Jen is scary to me because she's like, how am I supposed to know? Why the fuck would Katie or anybody ask you a very pointed, detailed question like that if you didn't fucking know? She plays that, I don't know. How would I know? She lies. Okay? No. Very scary to me. And this next point is about Jen too. When talking about Gretchen and her likes, and like, y'all, let's be serious. Gretchen has been liking that stuff. We all knew that. Like, even before this season, we knew, right? When it comes to that, Jen said something that pissed me off, pinched the inside of my fucking ass so bad. She says, I don't know Gretchen to be that way. Why would you know Gretchen to be homophobic, transphobic, or racist? You are a blonde white woman. So nothing, when you and Gretchen get together, are you talking about current issues? Are you? Let's be honest. I doubt it. Like, are you talking about Black Lives Matter? Are you talking about, no, you're not. So why the fuck would you know how Gretchen felt about anything? Unless you are actively talking about, and even if you were actively talking about it, you are a blonde white woman. What you experience from another blonde white woman is going to be different than what a person of color or a trans person or anybody experiences from her. Like, you think she's going to sit down and say, hey, I'm Gretchen, I'm racist. Hey, I'm Gretchen, I'm transphobic. Please get the fuck out of here and shut the fuck up. Ugh. I was like, you are a fucking dumbass. I just spit. Like, you are that. I was just like, how stupid. I'm going to say it again. How stupid. I don't usually like to be that harsh, but goddamn. My God. But that is all the time we have today. Sudden stop. That is all the time we have today. I really have to go get ready. Me and Megan are being Trunchbull and Matilda. No, I'm not being Matilda. I'm being Lavender. From Matilda. So don't forget to drop in the comments. Let me know how you are feeling about all of the topics that we spoke about today on this pod. Again, please keep it respectful. Me saying keep it respectful after I just called people stupid and told them to shut the fuck up. Anyways, keep it respectful. I'm just kidding. Don't forget to rate and review if you are watching. If you are looking, oh my God. If you are watching here on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, send a friend, tell a friend, and tell a friend. And I will talk to y'all next time. Bye.